I think paper trading is only after you've learned how to actually not learn, but after you trade and lost real money, because you've actually experienced what it feels like you're saying, you experience that heart rate, you experience that emotion when you're like, crap, I just lost 3 in a row, or I just won 5 in a row, and then you bet even too much and you learn that lesson. Like, you start to learn how those emotions feel. So then when you start paper trading, you can think, oh, I know how I usually act in this moment, so let me make sure I stick to my plan, not like budget, you know?
What's up? Stephen Johnson from the SteadyTrade podcast. I have recently been trialing Oracle Daily Alerts. It's basically an email every morning that tells you the recommended entry and exit points of the hottest stocks of that day. And it's been having pretty accurate results from what I've seen. Brilliant for newer traders who just want to learn what stock they should be trading and what the recommended entry points are as a basis of learning. Better yet, it is $97 a month, but we're hoping that SteadyTrade has a promotion code, so click the link to learn more below.
All right, as I mentioned in the introduction, we're back with Alex from Be The Story. So, you can definitely check out Alex. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff today. He is kind of what I think of as a great example of someone we're trying to reach out with this podcast. I mean, the market is insane right now. I mean, I feel like I say this every episode we record. SPY is at all-time highs today. Dow Jones is at all-time highs. SPY is at all-time highs. We've had these amazing Bitcoin runs. Now we have the commission-free stuff. I don't think there's a better time to be learning trading than right now. And you factor in, again, the commission-free stuff and the volatility we have. And, I mean, just the information that is out there. I mean, there might have been maybe like one trading podcast when I got started. Maybe. I don't even know if there was one. And, when you think about the wealth of information on YouTube and Twitter and just everywhere. So that's what we want to really talk about with Alex. He started a podcast himself, and I think it's a great way to learn from other traders, because I think about the guys with the Beyond the PDT, which are now working with us a little bit. I mean, start a podcast. I mean, I know I channel Joe Rogan all the time, but Joe Rogan tells everybody, it's like, man, if you've got something to share, start a podcast, then you get the guests and then you learn from them, because all you got to do is, start a few episodes and you can reach out to these people, and it's self-serving. If you get some great trader on your podcast, yes, your audience enjoys it, but so do you. So that's what we're looking to do today. Welcome. We've got the whole team back. We've got Steven here. He actually showed up.
I just want to summarize your introduction, which was about 9 minutes and about 6 words.
Yeah, I think it was about 45 minutes and about 3 words. But yeah, so
can I just summarize what you said basically in maybe 8 words?
I have many strengths and weaknesses, and verbosity is not a weakness. So
I'll just basically summarize your 9-minute introduction in 8 words, and I'll say the industrial age became the information age, which became the trading age. And welcome, Alex B.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here, guys. I'm so excited. I'm really excited to be here. And thank you guys so much for bringing me on the show. I never thought I would have been here. So it's awesome.
So
I mean, we generally look for handsome, well-groomed men to have on the podcast. And you just fit the bill.
And that's where Steven.
I'm just here. I'm like your brown counterpart,
No.
And I want to be brown. I'm going to lie in the sun tomorrow. I just want to be you.
Steven completely lied on his resume. He actually sent us a fake stock photo when we went to hire him.
It's me, Caucasian.
We know that's not true. I'm a YouTube person. Alex, you should do YouTube stuff. You've got your own podcast stuff. I don't know. Are you on YouTube much?
He's on YouTube. Yep.
I'm on YouTube.
No, I see your stuff. I've seen interviews on YouTube, and I've seen some of your stuff, which is linked on YouTube. But I haven't seen the live trading stuff.
Yes.
It's all
Yeah,
on
you're
as
right.
well. Oh my God, you
No,
are no, it's not on.
no, I have some trades, but not as deep as what you're doing right now.
Yeah, but tell us your story, Alex.
Sure, sure. So, I've always loved trading, and long story short, I'll just make it real short, is, I blew up an account, and, I had a great career. I worked my way up into the career, became a VP of a small firm in Dallas, and had a lot of extra money, tried real estate, flipped a house, did it, made some money, but didn't like how long it took. So then I was like, I need something quick. That's all I was thinking about. I need something quicker than this. Did trading, saw Tim Sykes, and signed up for the Penny Stocking Silver subscription first, and then quickly just sign up for the challenge immediately, like maybe a month later.
As you're a challenge
And
man too.
yeah. And when I did that, I didn't go in with the mind to learn though. I went in, can I get this money real quick? That's what I went in.
I appreciate
how much
honesty.
money can I make right now? And because I went in like that, like my first year, I say it wasn't really trading. I was just gambling. And I had a lot of extra income that, I think it was like one of my first 3 or 4 trades. I can't remember what, but I don't even know what the ticker was. All I know is in 1 minute, I lost like 6 or 7 grand. And it literally like where I was at in my life, it sucked. But like, I was like, all right, cool. What's next? And that's the wrong mentality I had, because after, fast forward, I said, you know what? I want to get serious. I'm going to leave my job because I'm kind of a risk person. I'm going to leave my job. I saved up a year and a half, 2 years of money. I left my job so that way I could take care, because I'm married, make sure I take care of the bills, my half, we kind of do things like that. And took care of that. And I actually got serious. So I had no job trading. And I was kind of pissed at the fact that I blew off all that money the year prior, right? Because I was gambling. And so I was like, I got to get that out of my head. So that was in my head for that next year of me trying to do it for real. And so it was hard for me to get over that. So I ended up, for the whole year and a half, I lost like 3 or 4 grand. So I wasn't really upset, but I was still upset that the fact that I haven't got it yet, right? Because I'm seeing all of these people just shooting out the sky, like blowing up. And I was so comparison mode. I was always like, if he's doing
terrible,
this, why can't I do
terrible.
this? If this guy, yeah, exactly. And I was constantly like that. So until about that year and a half mark, when I said, I got to get back to work because this is not working. Went back to work, saved up another year's worth of salary, and left again.
Jesus.
And when I left
Christ.
again, I was like, I'm going to get it this time. I have to. And what I found was consistency. So now I found consistency after that. That was in 2019. We're in 2019 is when I had that year of consistency, but it wasn't much, man. Like it was just small size.
We're the same, bro.
Yeah, I'm talking like, maybe 20, 30, 40 bucks a trade, $100 a trade sometimes. But I saw consistency. And what really rocked my world though is I had 6 months straight of consistency. And on TraderView, it showed me, because it didn't count for commissions and borrows because I'm a short seller, and God, I wish I had no fees like longs. But it didn't show, it didn't commit, it didn't, I didn't pay for the version. So it just showed me my trades. And my curve was just like this. And I was so excited. I was telling my wife, I was like, I finally found consistency. I got it. And I was like up like 3.5 grand. And I was only trading, risking like $10, $20. And I was like, hell yeah. Like, I'm feeling really good. I called my broker. I said, hey, Chris, because, you get to know your broker. I was like, hey, man, where's my account at? And I was actually down $100. And I was so pissed off because it rocked my world, because I was just like, it kind of like,
borrow fees are a thing.
It made me forget all of my success, because all I was focused on is, yes, I found like consistency, but I also, during the beginning of those, like maybe the first 4 months, it was like in and out, like a lot of like hesitation, a lot of trades, a lot of commissions and borrows. And so I didn't account for that, and the monthly fee, right? If my monthly fee is $150, $200 and I'm gaining 25, 30, 40 bucks a trade, like it really wipes it away. So I didn't think about that. And so all that did to me, man, for a quick like 2 months, it like rocked my psychology.
I can see that being a sock. It's such a sock in the gut.
It is.
Here you're looking at this chart, and you're like, hey, I put my data. Yeah, and it's and then you're like, wait a minute, flip the chart upside down.
But it's inspiring, because it means all you've got to do is trade a little less and do it with a little more money, and you've cracked the formula. I just want to just interject with one thing, because it's like you are going to end a long debate between me and Tim.
Okay, cool. So
basically,
go ahead.
Can I add Kim? Kim is new to trading. She's a master of the philosophy and psychology of trading, but she is not a trader yet. She's a total newbie, starting green as green.
I know. I listened to the show.
Tim, me and Tim are back and forth, devil on the left, angel on the right, arguing as to whether
Which you guess who's who, Alex?
Exactly.
Well, I listen to the show like regularly, so I know where you guys are at. Like,
but
you know who's pro paper trading and who is anti paper trading.
Yeah, I do.
No, but should she just go in with $1,000 and learn from mistakes and let the losses be let the losses add emotion that helps the lesson sink in better, because a lesson learned with emotion is better than
I'm on the team. Trading. I'm on the team of like, I think paper trading is only after you've learned how to actually not learn, but after you trade and lost real money, because you've actually experienced what it feels like. Like you're saying, you experience that heart rate. You experience that emotion when you're like, crap, I just lost 3 in a row. Or I mean, I just won 5 in a row, and then you bet even too much and you learn that lesson. Like you start to learn how those emotions feel. So then when you start paper trading, you can think, oh, I know how I usually act in this moment. So let me make sure I stick to my plan, not like budget, you know?
Yeah, I get it. Makes sense.
Maybe risk $1,000, like he's saying. I get it.
Biologically, I'm going to be in a different headspace if my own money is on the line than if it's just pretend money. So.
You won't focus. You'll probably be like trading and then listening to music, trading and watching, chatting with your buddies. Like you won't be focused.
But how many traders, how many paper traders are quote unquote paper trading millionaires, paper trading dead successful? Oh, I'm up $100,000. I'm dead good at trading. I'm gonna be a millionaire next year. All right, just okay. Okay, you keep doing that with real money. Just you keep doing that. It's the one thing that defies it's the one thing that should be true but isn't. I wish I could say it more eloquently, but it's the one thing it should be true but it isn't, that you can translate as paper strategy to real money.
Yeah, I think it's lose real money, paper trade, and then go back to real money if you're gonna do it. But are you cool if I finish that thought process on where I was at?
Please.
Yeah.
So just to give you full circle. So that happened, right? I found out I was down. So for 2 months, I actually just like, I guess it was revenge trading, right? Like I was just like, I actually sized up huge. Like instead of risking $50 or 100, I was risking like 200, 250. I was like, I'm making this money, because I wasn't thinking of how well I was trading anymore. I was just thinking someone stole from me. Like I was like, something happened. I was like, I got to get this. You stole 6 months of my work, And so that was a bad mentality. I actually lost like $2,000 in like a month. Like it was so fast. It was so fast. And then I got rocked again. I was like, okay, I need to take a step back. I need to figure out like, what do I need to do here? I need to figure out what I need to do. And so I ended up saying, you know what, let me start over. And let me go back to risking. I ended up saying, let me just risk $100. I started with 50 actually. And then after like 2 weeks, I went up to 100. Wow. And, I went to 50 and I saw consistency, went to 100, saw some consistency. And then I said, you know what? I know I'm doing this right now. I just got to stay consistent. But now my funds for my bills is going lower. And so I was like, I had like another 6-7 months left, but I was just like, you know what? Since I found consistency, I'm not in a rush anymore. Let me just get a job where I can do this and trade. Wow. And so one of my old companies called me back and said, and they hate me now, but they called me back and they were like, we want you to come back. And we negotiated like 3 days remote. And
nice.
I went there for only a month and I left because I left not because I didn't want to have a job, but because I told my wife, I was like, until I can find a place I can work full-time remote and at least cover everything, then I'm going to take this opportunity. So I took it. The pay was great. It's like I never left. I got the same title, everything, but I wasn't in it for the money anymore. Like my life has changed to where I used to care about nothing but money, which is why I sucked. And now I'm like, just take your time. So now I finally just started actually on Monday, a new job where I'm full-time remote. Wow. And thank God that I had this opportunity, because now I can actually trade. I traded this morning with no stress, and then now I'm working and now I'm here on the show, and I have really, really control of my schedule because it's remote. So
Alex, just a question. So that sounds like a massive shift, right? You kept bumping into this pattern. What is it that got you to see okay, I got to change this up? What emotionally, were you talking to your wife about it? Were you talking to other traders? Like who helped you see this, if not yourself looking in the mirror?
See what specifically?
See the fact, it sounds like when you finally came back that third time, right? It was the third time. Yep. When you said, okay, I have the consistency. Now I have to not come from this place of revenge. If I have the consistency, I'm just going to put in $50 or $100. What do you think shifted in your approach emotionally that got you to see that?
So a couple of things, I'm very big into like investing in myself. So like when I was in sales, I hired a one-on-one professional sales coach, things I couldn't afford because I invested in myself. And then that got me to the level I was at in sales. And so in stock trading, I don't think it wasn't a coach for trading, but I hired a life coach.
Got it.
Because I was so focused on like money. I was so focused on money and the stress of it. I valued myself on who I was by what I was making.
Wow.
And so like, that was like a huge problem because everything I did, it was all about that. And in a subconscious level, even if I told myself it wasn't. So a lot of work with that coach helped me a ton. And that was during that full second year when I found consistency. And I'm sorry, right before I went back to the job and left after a month. It was like right around that time period where I was working with her and that worked out really well for me.
That's awesome.
And then talking to tons of traders, of course.
The compare, issue. Like I always say, compare equals despair, right? So did you also bump into that concept of you comparing yourself to everybody else in your coaching?
Oh yeah, all the time. And what I would do is, comparison is not comparison can be very negative. Mm-hmm. I think comparison, when you compare someone to yourself and not get the full picture, you don't know what they've been through. You don't know how long. Then you have a bad, lens that you're looking through. But I think it's more of compare yourself to yourself. Like now I'm always thinking, what can I do today to be better than I was yesterday? And then what can I do today to be who I want to be tomorrow? And that's all I'm trying to focus on, because at the end of the day, man, like if I make $100 today and Steven makes $3,000 a day and Tim makes 10 and you make 100, like at the end of the day, like I don't know what your risk tolerance is. Right. I don't know what you actually risk to make that money. Like you see these guys who make $50,000, but if you actually open their, their charts and then you see their executions and you see that they only made 10 cents, then you're like, but as a new trader, when I was new, all I saw was the money. And I was just like, golly, like here I am making $50. This guy made $50,000. What's going on? Yeah. So it's the comparison really does hurt you. And the more I got away from that, the better.
Just on that comparison, it really struck a chord with me, because you're saying, I want to be better than I was yesterday. And it's funny because I always think I want to get as drunk as I can, so I forgot yesterday.
It's Steven, I'm a big goals guy.
I love it.
And like in the Jim Collins, good to great.
Yes.
The big have a big, hairy, audacious goal. And getting so drunk I forget yesterday, that kind of feels like a big, hairy, audacious goal to me. So.
Do you know what I did yesterday? I'll tell you very, very quickly because this is your time, Alex. But I lost my key drunk yesterday after being with my boss. So I rang the Dubai police to tell them that the security wouldn't let us in. And like, if you're drunk in Dubai with the police, you get arrested. So I was glad they didn't come. I had a big argument with the reception. And then when I stormed off upstairs, I found my key was under the mat the whole time. So
I think it would be a blast to go to Dubai. And I don't drink much. I'm a very like fit person. Like I love working out, but like I would drink with you, man.
We can find other things we can do.
I could fly over there like tomorrow, by the way. So
there's other stuff. But no, I'm sure we can hang out, dude. We can hang out for sure. We can do some trading, do some partying, do some stuff. But anyway, Tim, do you want to ask some serious questions? I'm sorry, I'm not a serious person.
No. I liked your questions. That was good stuff.
I did too.
So one of the things I wrote down is, and I've talked about this, and we've talked about this a lot, man. Back to the amazing times we live in, and I know I'm about as optimistic as they get, but it's pretty cool the fact that you were able to go. I mean, to get a full-time remote working job. And I mean, I guess I never, I talk all the time about, using trading as a side hustle, do it when you, but man, I never thought about, there's a lot of people that are fully working from home, and how freaking perfect is that for trading? And I know most people would be like, well, oh, what if your boss finds out you're trading? But that's the great thing about the world we live in is, I mean, if you hit your KPIs, if you get your work done, I don't care. I mean, I used to have 20 employees. I don't care if you trade and then do your work at 9 o'clock at night, as long as the work gets done and it's good work, who cares? So that was kind of a point I'd never really thought about, is how many possibilities there are for remote work.
So you got to be willing to take a pay cut, really. I mean, you got to be humble yourself, really. I mean, that's really what I had to do.
Alex, are you doing this full-time job also because it helps you not overtrade?
So at first, that's why I wanted a job. It really does help you, because I make my money in the first hour. That's it. And through statistics over time. And that's the only thing I would say I did well. I tracked everything to where even when I was doing horrible, so that way I knew what to avoid, I guess. I didn't think of it at the time, but yes, like my money is made in the first hour, and Mondays are my worst days.
Yeah, no. What's your exact strategy? Because I'm guessing you're short the stocks that got up too big with crap news, or the 4241B forms, and you short the overextended first red days.
That's exactly
you strike me as that. Yeah, you strike me as that type of person.
Both of those strategies are my go-to. And then I love, I know you guys probably don't like, but I found my own strategy within the micro caps. Whenever they, rotate over like 4 or 5 times their float, and then they're up 100% plus. Oh my gosh. I used to avoid every one of those. But I used to watch every one of those, and I tracked every one. And what helped me a ton is I take snapshots of every chart that I'm like, this is interesting, every chart. And then over time, I'm visual. So like, I'll look at all those charts. I'll open my computer and just go next, and just look at them all real fast. And I'll start to pick up things. And what I've noticed is those are actually really good opportunities late day. And so that's when I trade them. And so that's the only time I trade late day.
It's funny. It's funny to tell that story of saving all the charts. And I've told this story on podcasts, obviously you're like 40 years younger than me. But when I got started, I would screenshot them, print them, and I'd put them in that binder. And I did the exact same thing. I would flip through and I would go through that. And I think, especially when you're talking day trading, we look at the SEC filings. Yeah, we look at the PR, but so much of it is just that visual, that pattern of again, it's spiked up, starts to pull, volume starts to fade, it cracks below a key level. You can see that over and over again if you've got that pattern recognition.
How old are you, Alex?
I am 33 this year. I'll be 33.
You young looking brother. You young looking man. I'm 33 and I look like I'm about to die.
No,
it's called clean living, Stephen.
We look about the same. I don't think I look that young.
Stephen,
I just feel like I'm gonna die.
You and Alex are like the same year car, and one of them's got 20,000 miles and one's got 300,000 miles.
I feel like I'm about to die the next time I get a disease. One thing, Alex.
One question. Go on. Just curious, Alex, because you said you've been interested in trading your whole life, right? So you're 33. Tell me how old are you?
No, since 2015 is when I got interested in trading.
Okay. What happened? What was the catalyst that made you pay attention in 15?
It was whenever I made that money flipping a house. It was a wholesale deal. I wholesaled a house, and it took me like 3 months just to after I got under contract to actually get it going. Just so much work up front, and then I was like, I need to find something quick. And I wasn't in the mode of like, I wasn't trying to learn. I was just trying to make easy money. That's all I was trying to do.
And trading, what appealed to you? How did you think trading? Why did you think trading would be the place to make easy money?
Probably the internet.
Tip sites makes it look easy. I'm like, and I tell you what, everyone out there, it's not easy at all, but it can be. You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes a long time to get there. Anything that looks easy to an expert, it means they spent hours of work. Just like I'm in martial arts. So any martial artists, when they get to black belt and they make that roundhouse kick look beautiful and just destroy somebody, you're like, I could do that, but
Yep.
yeah, you might be able to do it, but nothing like that. So it's kind of like that.
But dude, trading is so easy, eh? Like it's really easy. Like January, I was thinking this is so easy. It's unbelievable.
It's easy as long
but
as you stick to your rules.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I mean, and you got to spend that time and you got to take the lumps to build those rules. But yeah, I mean,
yes,
it's like, and to everybody out there listening, we're kind of being sarcastic, but I mean, once you spend the time, once you develop a process, it gets to the point where if as long as you're not chasing all the squirrels everywhere, it is kind of easy. If you got that, and longtime listeners know we preach this, just have that one or two setup and then be willing to say, okay, like today, we before the podcast started, Steven, Alex, and I were like, man, there was nothing out there today. Steven did trade. He made $3 after fees, but we were all like,
before fees are really down 20.
Oh, okay. Before fees, but anyway, once you get to the point where you have this setup and or couple setups, then it does kind of become easy because you're like, okay, this doesn't work, and you're just like, you're throwing this because none of them match. So
yeah,
it's crazy. Go ahead.
I just want to say one sentence to summarize this because I'm a copywriter, so I like to say things in a way. But so basically, the summary of all this discussion that we've just had is trading. It's easy, but it's only easy if you follow rules. But it gets easier to follow rules over time.
Yep, absolutely.
I thought it sounded good in my head, but please.
I was actually so like what I'm so thankful of is this moment right now. Like spending time with you guys
God bless you.
is a lot and I say that because, dude, my journey has been, when you value money, like I came from a family where my dad worked his ass off, and he showed me that working hard, he took us out of low income to medium low to medium to medium. And he showed me that through hard work. And I was just like, I wanted to do the same thing. Right. And so I went through that phase of all I wanted to do is make money. And, I've been humbled. I went from having a great car to buying a PT Cruiser, by the way, a PT Cruiser. And it was earth shattering. This journey has been very rocky. I'm not going to lie. There's been a lot of dark moments for me, and there's been a lot of great moments, but there's been a lot of dark moments. I'm not going to lie. But the one thing I can say is I'm never going to give up. I'm kind of like you, Steven, where I'm just going to constantly go. I'm just not a quitter. And because of that, I started, the show, Be the Story, or Be the Trader on the podcast, but the whole YouTube is Be the Story. The reason I created that, I wish I would have created it years ago, because I actually had the same idea, but I didn't actually implement it because I was scared. And Steven actually implemented it way long ago. And when I was thinking about it, and I was like, I'm scared to do this because I'm not successful. I'm not someone who's making money. I'm not someone who's doing this. And I saw Steven, I was like, that guy's doing what I want to do, but I can't do it. And I was like, good for him. So I had a lot of respect for that. And, but now I'm so happy I finally did it, because like the fact that everyone's journey is different. And my journey is taking me to here now, where I've been able to meet a lot of people, meet a lot of traders, having good conversations, good relationships. And it's just like, it's very rewarding, right? It's so rewarding to know good people. And because there's not so good people out there, and there's some really good people out there. So when you meet the good people, just, really surround yourself with those people who are really focused on the process.
Who have been these good people for you? The mentors, the people that I watched the last YouTube podcast you had, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he seemed really down to earth, really authentic, seemed really humble, and he seemed to be really supportive of you. And I could see like he was being supportive of you, and that kind of lifted you up. And I saw you even being supportive to him and not lifting him up. So who have been these people who have been there for you that you can lean on?
My journey is pretty crazy. I met a lot of people along the way. So, the first person I met is, I can say, I'll just name a couple of people. So like there's Alex who is Tagger Trades. He actually lives near me, which is crazy. Wow. But he's a great guy. And he's just like, these are people who I've met who aren't mentors, right? They're not people who are just like, Alex, what do you need? They're not like, what do you need? What can I help you with? But they're there like, hey man, I've been dealing with this. And they'll give you a little advice, right? as long as you don't take advantage of that, then you create friends, right? And so like there's Tagger Trades, ATO9 actually helped me as well a little bit. I mean, I signed up with almost every service out there. So I've met a lot of people. Yeah. And so I guess, there's Tyson, there's Tom Diesel, there's James Friedlander, there's Bao helped me out a little bit. There's tons of people. It's just hard to name them. Roland Wolf, I actually hung out with him for a little while, a long time ago, and a great guy, and just a lot. So it's kind of hard. I feel bad because now I'm like missing people.
No, but how small is the trading community? You think you're trading with all of Wall Street, but the more the micro cap, dude, everyone knows everyone. We all know each other. It's funny, crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I gotta say Brian Lee, because Brian Lee actually has helped me a ton. He's helped me a ton. Like he's been there for a while, at least answering questions.
And do you have the support of your wife? Does she?
I do.
And the 2 strikes before you hit the third, like, aha moment, did when you were going hard and you're like scratching your head, realizing, I made all this money. You just said, I talked to her, look, I'm consistent. And then you found out, oh my God, because of the fees, you weren't. Did you go back to her?
Oh my God.
Like, what the hell, dude?
So like, can you imagine, just imagine that feeling I had. Like that feeling it hurts hearing you say it to me, by the way. It hurts hearing you say it to me because it's, so my wife is a very strong woman. She's very entrepreneurial spirit. She works her butt off. And so like trading is something that she's supportive of, but she's not sure until she sees like great results. She's just not sure. Right. And I get it because I failed like 3 times. Right. And she's it's completely warranted that, it can sometimes be fearful, right? Because here I am trying to pursue something that you can't see. Right. Like I've met some people face to face. I've met people who've been successful, but she has never met anyone. Right. All she knows is through me. So for all she knows, people I talk to are just liars. Right. Yeah. So that has, she's been very supportive, but we've had some of our times, right? We've had some of our times where we had to sit down and kind of have a conversation, make sure she feels secure, make sure she feels good. And as long as we have those communications, then things get better. But like sometimes we'll have those rocky moments because maybe I'm just in a horrible mood, right? Because I really want this so bad that like it could be devastating sometimes for myself. So
yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Can I just say something that's going to piss Tim Bohen off? And I think you'll agree with this. Tim Bohen's mantra is don't short low float stocks.
I know.
I just want to see if you agree with this statement.
That
his mantra is don't go on.
I think he's just warning newbies.
That is exactly
not false. It's not usual. False. Your Twitter memes.
It's Twitter. Are you one of these guys that think Twitter's reality?
Dude, it's a
cesspool. That's
what you say. Not reality.
It's not reality.
So I will allow me to respond. I think that shorting low float junk stocks is possibly one of the highest probability trading setups there is. But you got to know what you're doing, and as Alex got my back, as you tried to rudely attack me after all.
Can I just get Alex?
Let me finish. Allow me to finish. If you know what you're doing, but listen, everyone knows I have guns, okay? I have lots of guns, lots of ammo too.
Like the ones on your arms, the ones on your biceps are like in the sheds.
But I'm sure the other day it said, in Glock we trust. I was like, oh man.
But you don't hand a semi-automatic pistol with a full clip to someone who has never even understands how a gun works. How the safety works.
It's funny your analogy because you're kind of like me. You take the very extreme thing when you could just pick something else like driving.
Well, driving's a good one. Driving's a good one.
Tim, I'm not gonna attack anymore. I'm gonna make this group.
Let me answer the question. As I said, I think it might be the highest probability setup out there. But whether it be driving, flying a plane, a gun, you got to know what you're doing before you do it. And that's what drives me nuts about Twitter is so many of these people out there make it sound like it's just easy. Oh, just short the parabolic candle. and cover into the wash, bro. It's easy.
Yeah, they do. It's like
He turned into a surfer. He turned into a surfer when he.
he did. It's because they don't show you. So there's certain people. So one thing that I love that you've been doing, Steven, that I may dip my toes in soon is you've been just trading and showing everything, and that's something that's very inspiring. But it's challenging. And my fear is I know myself. I know that once I find consistency, I had this habit back in the day too. When I found consistency for months, I would try to put too much more on my plate, or I would try to like do new strategies because I'm like, oh, I got this. And then I'd take a step back. So I don't want to get back into that mindset where I'm like, I'm feeling good. Let me start sharing. But I do want to, but at the same time, I also know that I can be easily influenced. I could be easily influenced in my career right now, where if Steven was on my chat and he goes, dude, what are you doing? And I read that, maybe I might say whatever, but maybe it might actually do something to me, you know? So that's concerning too, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, sometimes I say to people if I'm in quite a lot of money and I'm on live stream on YouTube, because I live stream like most days now.
Yep.
And I'll say, guys, I'm in a big position. Just please don't say, or I'll knock off the chat so I don't see it. But when I'm trading less size, generally the thing is though, like I grew a $600 account to 5,000 in January. So I grew like 700%. So like, I know for a fact, my strategy is rock solid. So I don't need to experiment and try any other strategies. I'm happy for the rest of my life to trade this strategy because the market will never really change. I'm happy to change. Like Gap and Crap and First Red Day have been around for 20 years. They're probably going to be around for the next 20. So I don't need to change my strategy. I probably won't ever. I don't have the inkling to look for something new. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And secondly, I love nothing more than publicly highlighting the idiotic comments of people telling us what to do and saying, you stupid idiot telling me to do this. I didn't listen. Look where the stock is. You would have lost me money. Like, I effing love it.
And speaking of low flows, what you were saying, Tim, I think the biggest thing, that's where I lost most of my money. Like all of my money was lost on those because I used to short the open. Like I used to just be like, oh my God, let's go. You know, like, let's go. And then they
short the open.
If you don't have risk management, but if you don't have risk management, you know, like that's one thing I'm super proud about. Like I've had strict risk management now. And for a while, for like a year and a half, 2 years, to where I use hard stops. I love hard stops. That's just me. It really helps me. I don't have to think about anything.
On the short side, I think hard stops are great. Because I mean, you know, we've all been there. You know, when you're wrong on a low float, you're wrong. Yeah. And it's just going to get worse. So I love hard stops. Yeah.
Okay. On that subject, I just want to say, can we do the first ever Y5? You've heard of the high five. I want to do the Y5, but I only want you to do the Y5 if you agree with the statement. Okay. Low float stocks, very low float stocks. They may go high, baby. They may go high fast. They may rapidly go up fast, but as high as they rise, they fall just as fast. Can I get a Y5? Can I get a Y5? Yes! Yes!
I agree.
Because it's true.
But if you short it $1 and it goes to 6, it doesn't matter if it comes back to $1.50, okay?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
So anyway,
but they do fall as fast as they rise.
Yep. I'm a little short on time today. Thank you, Alex. but I would like you we'll kind of take this home. Talk a little bit about the podcast.
Sure.
You know, I know you're kind of just getting started, but you know, as I mentioned when we started, you know, talk about it a little bit. What you're trying to do, you know, where it is, where they can find you, etc.
So my vision is always, I'm a big helper. I like to help, and I like to help as much as possible. And I also am growing myself. So
kind of similar quotes that you get back what you give, man. It all comes back. Yeah, it
really does. And that's why I've met so many good people. At first it was like, let me see, I can learn, but also I can help others learn because I'm still learning. And I'm also sharing, you know, I'm at episode 38 right now. So
wow, I didn't know
some of the episodes are me talking about how the week has been. You know, maybe I've had a rough week, maybe things have been going well. And then some of it is I bring other people on and we talk about each other's month, right? Or I bring in guests and we talk about what's doing well for them. Maybe there's a trader who's been trading for years. And so it's a little bit of everything, but the whole focus is to watch, you know, join me on my journey to get there, right? But also hopefully you can learn along the way. And then I bring in, I mean, like you guys, you bring in a lot of people on the show. I try to bring as many people, even new, like completely new people who haven't really traded, so that way they can ask questions. And I bring in another spokesperson to help me out, because I'm not the whole expert. Even though I found consistency, I still know that I still have a lot to do, right? I still have a lot of work to do. But the show, the whole Be the Story, the reason I made that is because I want to be the story that my family shares with their family, right? Awesome. With their friends. I want you guys to be the story that, you know, Steven should be the story that all of his friends talk about, like, man, Steven used to work really hard at this, and we didn't think he was going to make it. And look at him now. You know, I want everyone to be that story, be the story of your own book, or be the hero of your own story, right? So that's the whole focus around there. And that's it. Yeah.
What's your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, but what's the URL?
URL?
Where are you? Are you on iTunes? Are you on YouTube? You know, let people find you. So
sure, I'm on all platforms: iTunes, YouTube, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify. The podcast is called B, just the letter B, The Trader, and then the website to my main page, the URL is B, just the letter B, thestory.net.
Yeah, and let me be on your podcast. We'll continue this on your channel.
We will.
I'll jump on. Hit us up on Twitter or whatever, or on email or whatever.
We will.
And we'll continue this. I'll jump on yours.
This was awesome. Thank you for doing it. Thanks for being so honest and vulnerable.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Awesome to meet you.
Well, yeah, and thank you from me as well, Alex. And you know, keep in mind, I'm actually, you know, as a Steady Trade listener, if you're curious, I will actually be on Alex's podcast. We're recording here in a couple of days.
Will you?
Yeah, I will. I promise. I got a busy schedule, but I will.
You've been sick.
But it's me or Tim. It's me or Tim. I'm not going on after Tim. I'm not being your sloppy seconds.
you can take my slot. I'll take the next slot.
No, you can go. I'll go after. But I'll definitely want to be honest, because you're a cool guy.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, and again, thank you, Alex. Definitely check him out at thestory.com. He's got the links to everything there.
.net.
And as always,
.net.
Thestory.net. Sorry. And as always, head over to SteadyTrade.com. You know, if you're listening on iTunes and you didn't write down any of these URLs, we'll have all the links on SteadyTrade.com. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Steven. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, guys.
Forward to seeing you the next time on the Steady Trade Podcast.